Hey, this is Dumb and Drummer, your place to learn about life, drums, and the pursuit of happiness. We got a special guest today. We got Timbo from Keno, Tim Baltes. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Baltes?
yeah, Baltas. Yep.
Cool. Thank you for coming on. A pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Good to have you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What'd you do today?
What did I do? I was writing a lot. I cleaned a hamster cage and I listened to the Bee Gees. That's what I did today. How about you guys?
I working on an ever breaking car. So that was my day today. Digging into a car. That was about it.
Are you working on your little Nissan?
Yeah, my new
You trying to get it running again?
my new Altima. It's fine. It's just got a bunch of like minor crap that's wrong with it, but it's one of those things that every time I fix something, something else kind of takes a dump.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like, yes, chasing
That's
the
fun.
dragon of a working car.
I listened to the Allman Brothers and Aerosmith. I randomized my vinyl collection using random.org, and I just have all my list exported from Discogs. So then I get each vinyl gets like equal play, but it was like Allman Brothers and like the Toys in the Attic album Aerosmith. So it was like a retro. I don't know if you call that classic rock. It doesn't even seem like classic rock anymore. It seems like ancient rock or something. I don't know. It's a little bit further
Solid
back.
combo though. Solid combo.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was the album with Whipping Post on it, so it was very solid. But yeah, man, thank you for being with us. For those people watching that don't know, you have taken over the uh, drumless track culture. You've taken it by storm. Saw you on Vic Firth a couple days ago. Somebody, I don't know if you saw that.
Steve Lyman, yeah, Steve Lyman uses my tracks quite often. I'm very fortunate. He's an incredible drummer,
Yeah.
and it was really nice that there's been a few times where you won't necessarily see tunes that I'm playing on or videos I'm playing in on Vic First's channel, but they're very kind to mention me in those posts. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, and you have a really solid following, and I'm sure a lot of that came from, I mean, the shares and the tags and stuff like that mean a lot. But yeah, I mean, as far as again for people watching that don't already know, you have 7 or 8 volumes now.
7 volumes over, I think it's over 700 tracks at this point.
Okay,
Uh,
so basically, if you're a drummer and you want to chop, if you want to do a pocket groove, if you want to have something to practice to or whatnot, it's a name your price on your Bandcamp.
It's
Uh,
free. Yep. Always available at the link in my Instagram bio. Any donations help me to keep doing what I do in my basement. And yeah, I mean, I'm planning on having volume 8 out later this year. And I'm
Damn.
hoping by early 2022 to have up to volume 10 out. And then I think I'm calling it quits after then. I think if I had hit 1,000 drumless tracks, I can call it quits then.
Okay, you've
Nice
achieved your
round
goal.
number.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll kick off the first question, then send the next one to Brett here. So, what was the original motivation for creating loops?
I mean, really, it was just for me. You know, I was making these things in my basement, and originally it was me playing the guitar, playing the bass, overdubbing keys, all these different things, and people wanted to use them. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll put them up on Bandcamp for everybody, and again, just make it free. Whatever people want to pay, they pay. Eventually, it turned into that people wanted more and more and more, and so that's when I went to sample-based music, and I've been doing it ever since. Yeah, just pumping out 100 to 125 tracks at a time.
That's so crazy, man. Like
So,
the Go ahead.
oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You finish what you were saying.
No, I was gonna ask, just out of curiosity, 100 at a time.
Mhm.
How many hours does it take to push that out?
It's honestly not as bad since it's samples. You know, if I was doing live instruments, you know, tracking bass, tracking guitar, tracking keys, it would take me months. This
Okay.
turns it into a few weeks worth of work.
Oh wow. Okay. Perfect.
So yeah, it's nice. You know, like I said, it's just people love. I think people were kind of looking for something like this. It's not like playing over a song if you put it through a tool like Moises, which is the online thing everybody's talking about, where it takes the
Hmm.
drums out of your favorite songs. But
Yeah.
what this is you have a 4, an 8, 16, 32 bar loop, and then you're able to play over that over and over and over for 10 or 15 minutes so it's really helpful for grooves or fills, and you're able to just really like, dig into a certain groove, dig into a certain fill, clean it up, perfect every single sticking you're using. And so it's been a great tool for me, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. People really, really love the stuff, which is great.
Awesome.
So what would you say your two biggest accomplishments have been in regards to like drumming and music in general?
So I think if I had to list a couple, I know this is going to sound like cheesy as all get up, but it's been one, making the friends I've made, and two, having the community, or kind of having found the community that I needed. So like I can go anywhere in the country and I know there's going to be someone there who's like ecstatic to kick it with me. And I know we'd have a great time, like that means the world, knowing that like people know me all over the world. And I've gotten to know so many legends too, and not just acquaintances, but friends. These guys become friends. Whether it's like Jose, who owns Revival Drum Shop, played with the Breeders and a bunch of incredible acts, or Michael Urbano, who played on Sheryl Crow's "If It Makes You Happy," Third Eye Blind self-titled record, like records I grew up listening to as a kid and like jammed to.
Damn.
And the list goes on and on. Like I'm grateful for these friendships because they're straight up friendships. It's not just about the drums. We talk about how are your kids? How is life? What are your other hobbies? And it's like it's normal people things, which is really cool that drums are the conduit to start these relationships, and then they turn into just real tight, normal, people.
Actual friendships between two people.
That's right. Yeah, not just two drummers, two people. Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. Did I explain the second one? I guess. Well, and I guess the community thing too. I didn't even explain that, but really, it's just that this comes back to say that, recently my computer screen broke. The computer I'm talking to you on now, and I called my Mac repair people down here in Chicago, and they were like, "Well, it's $850 to fix it." I don't have $850, so
yeah.
First, I posted an Instagram story that was like, "Hey, if anybody has any leads on full-time work, I think I've been sick for 5 years, and I think I'm finally at the point now where I can explore having full-time work if it's remote." So I put that up on story, and then I thought, well, I had a broken mic a few months ago, and I needed like whatever it was, like $100 or something to get a new mic. And I thought, well, maybe people would help me out. And I put my Venmo and my PayPal in my story, and people came up with $100. I thought, well, maybe they'd help me out with this laptop screen, since it's a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I put my Venmo, my PayPal in my story, and my followers, my friends, my acquaintances funded the repair, the almost $1,000 repair in 5 hours.
That's awesome.
That's love, man.
Yeah, it just goes to show that, it's nice because it shows that people care about me. And, and in the same way, when I talk about these friendships, I care about these people. It's about relationships. And I'm just so fortunate that it's not just that I'm another Instagram drummer out there playing the same chop every night with a stone face on. I'm out there being myself, and people recognize that. And again, DMs turn into texts, turn into phone calls, turn into homies.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because like not to go off on a tangent too much, but like I recently decided to rebrand my focus on my Instagram to just be about myself. Because for a long time I was like, okay, if I review all the data, here's how I get likes and followers and things like that. And I was almost to a point of pride, like you view it like a business. You want more customers, that sort of thing. But it becomes very dispassionate. It's something I really respect about you. I don't think you have any videos where you're like, check out this amazing chop. Oh my God, look at all the crossovers. I'm so amazing. Look at me. If anything, like when the Tears for Fears thing came out, which of course I did, and I jumped on the bandwagon, you actually made a video.
And it went
where you're like, everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to. And you're just like going crazy. And it was hilarious because I'm like, wow, like that was like my 4th most viewed video. It was on my channel like in 2 years.
And that's my first, because, and again, I think it comes back to authenticity. I talk about this a lot, is authenticity creating content. And because I didn't know that video was going to be big. This is just me doing my thing, which is being a doofus on the drum set.
Yeah.
That video got 400,000 views.
Yeah.
And just a reel got me 400,000 views and landed me 5,000 new followers in less than a month.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and
That's awesome.
Stupid video.
yeah, and Sarah Thaler did the same thing.
Oh, did she?
After it got really big, yeah, she made a video and she was just like, everybody did it wants to clap stack, rule the world, did it. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule, and she just like she's making fun of it. And I was like, all right, you got a good point. I was on, trends only go so far, so maybe you should just stay away from them, And I actually talked to the guy who originally did that, and he got the inspiration from John Mayer's drummer.
Aaron Sterling.
Yeah, Aaron Sterling. Yeah, Sterloid or whatever on the which another. Oh my gosh, that guy's nuts. But yeah, next question. What drummers inspire you?
So
have inspired you?
I got two guys I'm going to mention. One of them I plug all the time, which is Jason Tate from the Weaker Thans. They're a Canadian like post-punky, alt-country, folk rocky kind of band. They're from Winnipeg. And a lot of, especially in America, like not a lot of people have heard of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy's sense of creativity, his sense of groove, and the way that he approaches recorded drum tones just always stuck with me. So it's inspired me everywhere from my groove to my fills to the way that I do approach recording myself. The other guy, and this is probably another guy that neither of you guys have heard of, is one of my best friends, John Perrin. And John plays with a legacy act. They're called NRBQ, which was like the band that if you were in a famous band in the 70s, you listened to NRBQ. So it's like, you got to be ahead from that time to know who they were. And he also plays with the Beatle band called Liverpool Legends, which is the band that George Harrison's sister puts together. So it's one of the bigger Beatle bands in the world.
Okay.
His drumming's great, but he just inspires me generally as a person because he's continued to reinvent himself through this entire pandemic experience. He's turned himself into like a studio monster at this point. He didn't know anything about recording before this pandemic, but he had a great ear. He's a record collector. He probably has 10,000 records. It's insane. His house is just full of records. 78s, 7-inch, 45s, 12 inches, 10 inches, everything. It's all over his freaking house.
Mm-hmm.
And because he has that background with listening to music, he took to recording drums easy peasy. I just said, okay, put these in this place and try this and try that, and off he went. And in 4 months I was hearing tones and I was just like, are you kidding me? You're getting these kinds of tones already? So just the fact that he's an incredible player, and for him to be able to dig into something new like that and embrace it, and not just embrace it and create something mediocre, but to embrace it and create something like just on the level right away.
Yeah.
Amazing. Great guy.
I love how you talk about tones because I have a lot of respect for yours. I don't believe you use any triggers. I mean, everything sounds super wide open. Cymbals sound great. Obviously, I mean, a lot of bigger. I know your ride looks huge, but I mean that just might be in the videos. But everything sounds really dialed in. You can tell when it's like super processed, where it doesn't even sound like an acoustic drum anymore. And it's tough to get. You say the word tones, and tones is like the word. Like if somebody compliments your tones, it's like
you're doing something right.
You're doing something right. It just like it cuts straight to your core. I don't know if somebody's like compliments my tones at all. I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't know how hard I work on these tones.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And in your videos, it looks like you don't really use too many microphones. Like not.
That's an illusion.
Oh.
Some people think I use, because most, often lately you'll see that one big black microphone over the kick drum, and some people are like, is that the only mic you're using? And I wish I could say, yeah, it's just the one mic.
Yeah. Single mic setup.
There's 14 mics on that drum set, believe it or not.
Oh my God.
Oh, you have internal?
Well, I'm not no, they're on there. They just don't show up in the video. And it's not necessarily that I'm using every one of them on every song. Okay. I employ probably 7 to 10 at a time, depending on what I need. What I like to do is, my approach is find a room sound that I like. I have 3 different room mics. I have one that's close at about 8. I have narrow, short, but long room. So what I do is I have one that's about 6 to 10 feet out from the drum kit, Again, picking up in figure eight, picking up the room. It's the WA-47 warm audio. You go about 20 feet out, I have a boundary mic that's picking up room. And then if you go 40 feet out from my drum set, way back where my freaking treadmill is, there's a ribbon mic picking up the walls perpendicular to the kit that far out. And that's the mic you almost always hear. And then what happens is, I determine whatever tone I think a song or a cover is going to need. And then I pick close mics that are going to help accentuate that room sound.
Wow.
So some kick mics to bring out the kick tone, some snare mics to bring some of those low mids, and the overheads just to bring the right amount of shimmer. So that's kind of the way that I approach it, which I think is quite different to most people.
See, and I just started doing the recording thing. I just got my first interface and my first set of microphones to start recording myself. And just how involved like mic placement can get it blows my mind. Like how you said you have it 40 feet away at the end of the room facing the walls. and that's a trip. Like I'm just scratching the surface of this stuff, and it's just really cool to see like how you get those cool tones from your walls at the end of the room.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is I always love to tell people, because I do lessons on this stuff, and whether I'm talking to a noob or an industry veteran, I always tell people there's no right or wrong way to do this.
Yeah.
It's all just experimental. If you need to put a limiter on your snare channel and blast the heck out of the snare, that's technically like wrong. But what? If it sounds good, if it sounds better than if you had sound replaced, what does your ear say? Does it sound good to your ear? Then it's great. Leave it in the mix. That's the way I look at it.
And also for mixes, like, and not to condescend you or anything, Brett, because like I've been recording drums for a couple of years, seriously, but I never like went back to the drawing board and scrapped it and like, hyper accentuated mic placement and got super anal about stuff. Like, to me, my mix is like, I have made peace. I will never be happy with my mix. Like it's like guitar players say the same thing about distortions. They're like it's close, but it will never be 100%. I'll get 90 on my best day. It'll be 90%, and that's the thing. Like I'm always willing to go back and say I don't have the luxury. It sounds like you play in a hallway. It sounds like you play in an endless hallway where you can put a room mic far away. I play in a 12x8 practice room, so I can only put my mic so far away. However, I could put it in the hallway for a quick.
I tell people to do that all the time.
Or I could put it in the cubby hole above my kit or whatever, or I could add another mic. And I'll tell you one thing, I've only been using a room mic for about 2 or 3 months. Yo, you almost don't need anything. Like for Instagram, I mean, you need to bring out those tones, but the natural sound you get from the one ribbon mic is like
makes an
unmatched.
incredible difference. And you know what?
It's so wonderful.
You don't need this is the other thing too, is people think, well, if I need one room mic, I better spend $800 on a microphone. I use a freaking $100 piece of garbage ribbon mic that's fallen apart. I had to jerry rig a freaking mount to it because the mount broke. Piece of garbage. It's a Apex 210B or something ribbon mic, or 205B. Cheapo. And you know what? It sounds better than I put $500. I put $1,000 mics back there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound it doesn't sound good.
I have a $59 Cascade.
Yeah.
I just typed in ribbon mic on or room mic or somebody recommended it, and I was like, I'll just grab it. And I'm still using Samson mics on my kit. And it's like, I'm not saying my tom tones are the best, but I'm saying they're the best they've ever been. Mm-hmm. Like they don't sound too processed. It's got a lot of plugins on it. I mean, not a lot. It's got an EQ, compression, and maybe one like aftermarket Waves plugin on it. But I don't know very much about that. I want it to sound as natural as possible. But yeah, definitely kudos to you. I love the sound you're getting, and it sounds like we're in agreement that you're never all the way there. You're gonna fuck around with the mic placement. You're gonna get some new gear. You're gonna steal a tip from somebody else, and implement that.
Eventually, you got to say good enough.
I mean, I don't know if I agree there, but I mean, it's like I'm perpetually stressed out. And then okay, so one more thing on this. We spend so much goddamn time on this, so people can hear it through this.
Well, okay, so I talk about this too in my lessons. Is that so? If people are going to listen to your Instagram videos or whatever YouTube videos through a phone speaker, do not mix like you're mixing for headphones.
Oh
Mix
yeah.
for the phone speaker. And that's why oftentimes my mixes sound like they're blowing out your ears if you put your headphones on, because I want it to sound good through the phone speaker. That's why my kick drums are so loud, because I want you to feel it
Yeah.
through a phone speaker.
Who
You
listens
know,
to Instagram videos with headphones on anyway?
I don't know. I'd like to meet that guy.
I mean, like menaces to society or something,
Yeah.
like
Oh
complete
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pariahs, or what's going on? Like I've never listened. Like sometimes I'm in my car and I'll the phone will be connected and I'll play it and I'm like damn, and the mixes sound better. Like if you know what you're doing, they sound real good on car speakers. But I'm just like I'm just sitting on my couch or sitting on the throne and scrolling. I mean, I never have headphones in, so yeah, I always mix with just my computer speakers. I don't
Yeah.
mix with headphones at all.
Yeah.
Cool. What do we got next?
I think
We got,
yeah, what do we got, boys? What do we got?
What do we got? Let's
tell
talk
us what
about
you
them
got,
tones.
what do you got going on for 2021? Any big news for you? Any big things coming up?
Yeah, I'm going into exotic dancing. That's the first plan.
Oh, get your dollars out.
And
And if it
see,
what's
you
that,
went the
Brett?
wrong route with the drumming. You should have gone to that first.
You
would have
missed
made
your
a lot
calling,
more
yeah.
money.
I got a good butt. All right, I got a good butt.
It's thick.
Yeah, that's something. But, you know, with this drumming thing, you know, I just do this stuff for fun. It's always been for fun. If anyone is doing this, anyone out there is doing this for any other reason than their own amusement, you're doing it wrong. So I'll question your motives at that point. You know, like for that guy John I mentioned earlier, is this his career? Like, yeah, sure, but he still goes out there and does this stuff because he's having a blast doing it, and that's why I do it too. So whatever comes in the next year of my drumming or my dancing, you know, it's just icing on the cake to the fun that I have, whether it's, you know, making the karaoke videos, making the drumming videos, or just interacting with the folks and friends that I have on Instagram and in the drumming world.
Bro, but here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people do. They use one viral video to build their following, and then they use that following to market a podcast or a book, or they have an endorsement, so they want to like
I have zero endorsements. I don't do any
Really?
of that.
Oh, wow.
Nope. I have, and this is the thing: is it's like, you know, you get to this level.
Has
and-
anyone approached you? I mean,
No,
I'm
never.
sure.
Well, I mean,
You haven't got any DMs from Collision Drumsticks or anything
yeah,
saying, hey,
I got that DM, and I said,
everybody's got that
that.
DM. I'm like, do you even follow me? Like, who are you?
God bless them.
Yeah.
What I think is I don't do endorsements. I have relationships.
That's wow. Respect, bro.
And so, you know, I was just on the phone with Jeremy, who owns Lowboy Beaters, and
Love them.
And a great guy. Jeremy's an incredible guy, and I've known him and since the beginning, since he was doing this in the beginning,
Mhm.
and he and his company, they were one of the. I think I was one of the first guys they were just like giving beaters to. I met him at the Chicago Drum Show years ago, and they had the OG beater, but with a hot dog on it. And I was like, I need the freaking hot dog beater, of course. So I bought that one, and then like every year since that I had gone there, they'd come and be like, oh, I got this one for you. This one, like this with this goofy design with a funky, you know, cartoon head painted on it. This one's yours.
Nice.
And so, they just started an artist roster, and I'm not on it. But I'll tell you what, I cherish that relationship. You know, these are the guys who, when I quit my corporate job in 2019, they gave me one of their Lowboy Beater passes for NAMM, which is, it's not cheap. It's not cheap,
Yeah.
and they gave it to me, and they let me stay at their Airbnb in California for free. Just to kick it with them.
Wow.
Through the NAMM thing, and and I was telling Jeremy, I'm just so thankful for all that they've given me, and this is not fortunately for me, it's not I'm fortunate for this, but it's not the only experience I've had like this. I've had so many companies where it's I whether it's product or help with a project or this, that, or the other. I get support when and where I need it. I'm thankful for guys like Sugar Percussion has been really good to me. I'm currently working with Franklin Drum Co., which used to be Risen Drums.
Nice.
I'm also working with Firehouse Drums, which is a fireman who builds drums out in Indiana. Really, really cool.
I just saw
interesting
Greg
stuff.
Hersey play a kit 2
Yes.
days ago for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the monster.
Very interesting drums. And Greg's a great player.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's always more stuff in the works. There's always more stuff in the works. So again, I think it just goes to say, I don't expect anything out of the future. It's all just that, I try to go out there and put my best foot forward, and whatever happens, I would just like to think is a result of the good juju I'm trying to put into the world. You know what I mean?
You're just having fun with it and letting the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. They better be Ripple chips, Ruffle brand, Ripple chips.
Got to get those kettle chips, bro.
I'm down, dude.
Game changer.
That's good.
I can't eat regular chips anymore after.
I can't. They got to be crinkle cut or they got to be kettle. I don't want those normal ass Lay's potato chips. Get the fuck out of here with
those. You know what I love? Black pepper, the real hot, black pepper kettle chips.
Oh yeah,
those are good.
Stuff my life with that.
I love the ones that are sandwiched together, that stuck together in the fryer.
Oh yeah, baby.
Big ass thick boys. Yeah.
Let me get that thick
I will eat the salt and vinegar until my mouth is just raw.
It's cut up like Captain Crunch. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Amazing.
So what else we got on here?
That's when you said I don't have endorsements, I was like, because I was listening to Joe Rogan occasionally, like when I work out. And I mean, yeah, Joe Rogan's on a whole nother level for podcasting, but there's like these 15-minute segments of just like straight, it's like a minute and a half of just talking about a product. I'm going to talk to you about smoked meats, smokedmeats.com. The best smoked meat. I'm like, is this over soon? Like, and it's like paid advertisements from smokedmeats.com. And it's like so nice to be like, and this is a whole nother conversation and a tangent we can go off of, but like, sometimes I get the feeling that if you have a lot of endorsements, then that makes you better. Like, and not necessarily a better player, but your status is elevated. Now you're like a drumming celebrity because you're endorsed by this company and that company. So it feels really refreshing to see someone with a following as like you could literally you could apply and have 10 endorsements tomorrow if you fucking wanted to, and we both know that. But to even say like this isn't about my ego, I would buy these products anyway. I care about their relationships. Gives people like me hope because I'm like, I'll buy this shit anyway because I love it. I think it's good quality product. I'm not gonna use it in a video. I'm not gonna use it at all if I don't love it. But like if it was given to me for free, I guess I don't even know how to like handle that. Like I would just buy. Like I have no problem earning the money and working for the means to be able to buy your product to support your business. Like I'll take it if it's free. That's fine. But like it's just a whole nother spin on this this topic.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, cool. So next question. Are you in any bands or do you do, I know you mentioned lessons, do you do remote sessions or anything like that with some people right now?
So I'm not doing bands right now. I started playing in bands when I was 12, quit playing when I was 25 just to focus on studio stuff. But right now it's tough with the COVID thing. I do have one project though that I've been wanting to work on for a long time. It's a big freaking project and I keep pushing it back, but I want to plug away at like a masterclass video series. That's like the next big thing I want to tackle. I've done the drumless tracks, I've taught, I have a giant freaking library of content I've made of just covers and silly stuff. But I think doing an online masterclass where I talk about the things that everybody DMs me about or that I do lessons on, whether it's the drumming. People always ask about my language behind the way I approach fills or recording, mixing, social media, all that stuff. I think I want to put it all in one place.
Sounds awesome.
And put it available for shale. So
that's definitely something that I feel like we need more of is education on like, and I make fill videos and stuff like that. And I already explained the reason why I do it. It's tough to, you put out a video that's not flashy and you watch the views, decrease by 20 or 30%, which can be disheartening. But that's what I would, at least in my journey now, and I know Brett and I have talked about this, like, I want to know your approach on tuning. I want to know your approach on miking. I want to know how do I do this shit on my own? Like, how can I automate it? Because, Yeah, if you're a boomer and you had to work for every fucking thing, like I get that. That's not the time we live in anymore. Like there's so many shortcuts, you know? I mean, like we can automate this shit. We don't have to it's not trial by fire. We can hit up 5 different people and 5 different approaches on mixing and we can get something out of it and do it on our own. That's what I want to do. But we're so busy talking about flash and chops and gaining a following and endorsements and all this shit that the important stuff goes by the wayside, I feel like sometimes.
I agree. I agree.
I can definitely say that in the beginning, I was one of those drummers that before the social media drummer was really a thing. It was probably just starting at that point. I was definitely like, oh, and endorsements mean you're a good drummer or something like that. So I would hit up brand X to see if I could get an endorsement, and they had one of those crappy little rosters where I'm essentially paying the same price, but hey, you're endorsed.
Yeah, we'll put you on the website.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll put your name up there in the tiny print, and you'll pay $5 less than you would at Guitar Center. But I do think a lot of people miss the fundamentals of it, and also just miss having fun. It becomes something where it's a status symbol, or I have to be this good, I have to be in this band, I have to be playing in front of this many people. Where it's like, why did you start playing?
Yeah.
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 So a follow-up question that's not on the list. You said you stopped playing in bands. Why did you stop?
I broke my balls.
Yeah, you broke your balls?
I got mono, the kissing disease you usually get when you're about 10, 15 years old. And instead of having it for a week, I had it for 6 months.
Hey.
Yeah, I've talked about it on a lot of podcasts, but basically what it did is it crushed my body's ability to create testosterone. I didn't know that until 4 years later, 4 years or 3 years, 3.5-ish years later in late 2019, early 2020. And so because my testosterone flatlined, all my other hormones went out of whack. Estrogen dropped down low. Insulin resistance went way up high. Cortisol, the stress hormone, went way up high. Everything was out of whack. Wreaked havoc on my body. But throughout, 2016 and on, I couldn't keep up physically with gigging or anything like that. So now I've been on. I just like the way a diabetic shoots up insulin. I shoot up testosterone every other day. I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my life, and I've been shooting up for a year now. And they say it takes 10 years of doing this to reverse all the stuff, but you don't know how much of a recovery you're going to make. So it's just waiting and not knowing, but. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of relates to maybe a good way to close it out would be to talk about, what advice I have for up and coming drummers, because I think,
yeah, absolutely,
this experience has, chronic illness has taught me a lot about what I want out of life, generally, in my career and as a drummer. So specifically as it's related to social media, because we've talked a lot about this, the recording and all these new skill sets we have to have. Recently, I did a podcast with Nate Testa that's called Drum Talk, like TikTok, TOK. And I kind of harken back to this idea of authenticity in the content that you create. So I put my authentic self out there. I post drum videos where I'm playing my favorite songs, whether it's, Nick Drake yesterday or this crazy like sludge band from Belgium today. and then some days I'll post these bad karaoke videos where I'm like singing in falsetto voices and throwing my drums around the room.
Hurt is my favorite of your karaoke videos.
Very solid choice. Thank you. But people see all this stuff, whether it's the horse mask videos or not. And that's the realest me that they connect with. If you're just like, again, every other stereotypical stone-faced drummer on Instagram posting the same thing day after day, where's it going to get you? Are you, it's like you were saying, Jeff, are you going to have fun with this? And do what fills you up is what it comes down to. When, being sick for so long has taught me that I'm not going to settle for a career that I don't want anymore. I'm going to ensure that I set myself up for success, not only financially, but also, soul-wise. I want to fill that bucket more than more than the financial bucket, to be honest. And I think you have to do that if that's your social media. Like if you're going to do social media, if that's a goal you have to become someone on social media, is to do what fills you up, and don't care about the audience size so much as the audience quality. Um, like I said, I had put out feelers on my story for job interviews before when the laptop screen broke, and I got to I've been interviewing, or in the process of talking to and interviewing with a couple different companies. One of which is a creative agency that's specifically narrowed in on uh, music tech. So
Nice.
guitar stuff, pro sound stuff, recording, all this sort of stuff. And I remember one of the favorite things that I said to them was that I might not have, when you think about drummers on Instagram, I think the mark for a lot of people is you're famous if you have like 150,000 followers. That's like the mark, I think. And I might not have 150,000 followers, but I'll tell you that my 25,000 followers are more powerful than the 150,000 that someone
Yeah,
else might
absolutely.
have. Whether it's in, people helping me fix my laptop screen, or having a couple guys who make beaters out in Colorado put me up for NAM and give me a NAM pass.
Hmm.
Whether it's experience, money, or gear, or whatever, I'm really fortunate that my authentic self has yielded authentic relationships that have yielded incredible experiences, and that's worth more to me than any additional amount of followers, any amount of freaking fame, or whatever the heck you want. It's if you put your authentic self out there, you're going to find the people you need to find, and you're going to get the experiences that you need to fill you up. That's what I think.
Well said. Well said. Well, thank you again for hopping on, man. Really appreciate your time and your insight. It's just, I feel like I could have this conversation like all day. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Until next time, take care, stay safe.
Take
See
it
you later.
easy.
Peace.